Well, exercised for cheat meals. You did it again. You absolutely killed it. I made your cookie dough recipe and it was insane. I literally could not stop eating it. It was so good. And given I haven't had real cookie dough, like the real store-bought cookie dough, in a long time, but yours killed any craving I could have to go buy and eat store-bought cookie dough. It was so good. I used to love cookie dough, and anytime I would make cookies, I would always take the batter and I would eat it, no matter what. Didn't matter if there were eggs. As a kid, always, anytime I made cookies, I would always leave a little bit of batter in the bowl just so I could eat it raw. I wouldn't wipe the bowl clean to use all the batter for the cookies. I would make sure there was always a little batter left because I wanted to lick that thing before it was put in the sink. Your cookie dough recipe, ridiculous. It was super good, super rich. I absolutely loved it and you killed it. Guys, if you have not checked out his video, it is the most popular video on his channel, and rightfully so. It's an amazing recipe. The guy worked super hard to make it. I checked out his Instagram. He was posting videos of him trying different recipes, the amount of batches he went through, the amount of cookie dough failed attempts. I can't even imagine how long it took him to actually come up with his recipe. But guys, he worked super hard on it, so check out his video. I will have his video linked in the description. But I have a big appetite. As amazing as your recipe is, I wanted to see, can I make it more anabolic? I want to see if I can decrease the calories in it, make a few substitutions to make it more anabolic so I can eat more cookie dough. And can Nick's, aka exercise for cheat meals, cookie dough become more anabolic? Let's find out. So I made 3 main substitutions to Nick's recipe to make it more anabolic, to give it more protein, and to have it be less fat and less calories overall. So the 3 main substitutions I made were, first, he used a mixture of flour and whey protein. The flour is to make it more absorbent, and the whey protein is to add protein content. What I came up with, casein protein. We're gonna get rid of the flour and we're gonna get rid of the whey protein and just use a casein protein. And this specific one is unflavored. So just like flour, and how flour doesn't really have a very strong flavor or anything, but it's gonna bind everything together, we're gonna get the casein to do the same thing that the flour plus protein is doing. So this is gonna add protein. This is also gonna bind everything together, and it's not gonna mess up the flavor because it's a very neutral flavored, unflavored casein protein. The second substitution, instead of using light butter, which isn't too many calories, and Nick uses a very small amount of it, but instead of using light butter, I have a bit of Greek yogurt right here mixed with butter extract. That will give it the same buttery flavor as well as the creaminess without adding all the fat that butter has. And the last substitution I made to his recipe, instead of whole eggs, I'm gonna use egg whites. The egg white carton, a classic staple in the anabolic diet. These are pasteurized. When I made his recipe initially, I used whole eggs because, hey, if Nick doesn't care about salmonella, I don't care either. That was my thought process. Nick doesn't care, I don't care. So I used whole eggs. It came out great. It gave it that yellow color from the egg yolks. This isn't gonna give it that same yellow color that the egg yolks gave. I'm gonna use a bit of cake batter extract instead. And so this has yellow food coloring in it, but it also has a very nice pastry flavor, very desserty flavor to it. And it's pretty delicious. These 3 substitutions are gonna decrease the calories. They're gonna make it a bit more anabolic, which just means that I can eat more cookie dough. Nick's video is gonna be linked in the description, so go make his cookie dough before you even make this, because his version is amazing. This entire recipe is completely inspired by his video, and he gave me the inspiration for it. I'm using his recipe and just making substitutions to it. So Nick, you get all the credit for killing this recipe, and I know how much work you put into this. So go watch his video and go make his cookie dough, guys. But let's try to make it more anabolic. You know the first steps. Food scale, bowl. So first thing, we're gonna add the casein and all the dry ingredients. So that's gonna be the casein and the sugar. And as always, I'm gonna have all the ingredients and the measurements in the description. So casein goes in, Now that we have the casein in here, we're gonna add erythritol. So Nick uses a combination of Swerve, uses like the brown sugar erythritol option and the white sugar erythritol option. What I have here is monk fruit sweetener, and this is really erythritol. So the first ingredient in this is erythritol, and then the actual sweetness, also there's a little bit of monk fruit extract in here to give it more sweetness. But this is a 1-to-1 replacement for sugar, just like what Nick uses. When I made Nick's recipe, I didn't have the brown sugar Swerve, so I just used this for the entire sugar sweetness, and it came out amazing and it came out super good. We're just gonna use the erythritol white sugar option. And then a pinch of salt goes in. And of course, it's not gonna be salty, guys, just use a little bit. It's just gonna make it taste more like cookie dough and more like the other ingredients in here. So these are all the dried ingredients. Let's give this a good mix. And this looks mixed, so I'm gonna put this to the side and let's make the wet ingredients now. So I got my Greek yogurt mixed with butter extract right here. So to this, I'm gonna add vanilla extract. And then right into this goes egg whites. And we're gonna add a little bit of cake batter extract. I know he doesn't do this, but we're not gonna get that yellow color without egg yolks, and so something's gotta look good for the thumbnail. No, but I'm just kidding. This smells really good. Using a little bit goes a long way because it's gonna give that yellow color, but it's also just gonna make this taste more like a dessert. And so we're gonna give this a good mix. Now that we have our wet and our dry, let's combine them and mix it up and make some cookie dough. And then add the chocolate chips at the very end. We'll do that. We can't forget the chocolate chips. I was supposed to add the dry to the wet in batches. I'm sorry, Nick. I messed up. It's okay. I'm just gonna mix this as much as I can, and I think it'll turn out fine. And Nick is right, cookie dough is super rich, so you really don't need too much of it to satisfy you, but I have a huge sweet tooth, I have a huge appetite. I can eat a bucket of cookie dough. So the casein is gonna make this very thick, which is something that I do like. And it is doing that exact thing right now. It's making this really thick. And so that is a good sign. Guys, I got it. This right here, this is the real version of cookie dough. This is stuff with all the sugar, no protein at all. So let's compare. This is, for 28 grams of this, it's 120 calories, and the macros are 5 fat, 17 carb, and less than 1 gram protein. So if you look at this, it doesn't even say 1 gram protein, it says less than 1 gram. So basically, this is not gonna fill you up, this is not gonna satiate you. That's why Nick came out with such a great recipe. So you don't have to go to things like this to satiate that cookie dough craving. You can go to his recipe or my recipe, and it's gonna give you that same sweet tooth cookie dough craving sensation without giving you all the calories and basically no protein. This is not the stuff you want, but let's see how much volume you get for 28 grams. So 28 grams is 1 serving, and that's 120 calories. What the? That's 55 grams? Okay, hold up. Okay, this is 29 grams, but close enough. Guys, that much? That is so little. That's a bite, so per bite, you're having 120 calories. So basically, when you have this cookie dough, take a bite, 100 calories. Take another bite, 100 calories. That's how fast it's gonna go. Let's take this out, and let's do 28 grams of this. All right, that's 30 grams, so close enough. These are both equal in terms of weight, and my recipe, this whole bowl, is still under 200 calories. So there is 4 times as much, maybe a bit more. There's a bunch of spoons. So you can easily see how much protein there is in this, how low calorie it is compared to the real cookie dough. Of course, this isn't gonna give you all the volume you want, but compared to cookie dough, super low in calories, just like Nick's. So you can eat so much more of it kill that craving. It's gonna be just as delicious, or maybe not just as delicious, but close enough where it's gonna kill those cravings and you're not gonna wanna go eat cookie dough. Why eat things like that, guys? When you can make cookie dough that's pretty close to that, and that's gonna be way better for you, way healthier for you, it's a no-brainer. So let's get into the taste test. Look at that, guys. So that made 120 grams of cookie dough. When I measured it, I showed you guys 117. There's a little bit left on the bowl, so I added that in there, plus the chocolate chips. It makes a bit over 120 grams. And that is a lot more. That is 4 times as much as a serving of cookie dough. And let me get into the macros and the calories for this entire thing before I give it a taste test. The macros for this entire 4 tablespoons, which is a 4th cup of cookie dough. For all of this, it is 190 calories, 31 grams of protein, 33 grams of carbs, and 2 grams of fat. And really, that 33 grams of carbs, because of the erythritol, you have to minus the sugar alcohols. So it's really 9 net carbs total. And so 9 net carbs, 31 grams of protein, 2 grams of fat, super low in fat. Guys, fat is good for you. You need some healthy fats. The egg yolks are not bad. It's just, I was trying to make this as high volume and as anabolic as possible. That's why it's so low in fat. This is basically like a protein bar. 190 calories, 31 grams of protein. That's basically better macros than any protein bar that I know of. But let's try it out. So, if you look at that, look at that. Oh, quick note on the mini chocolate chips before I get into this. Look at that, but quick note on this. I literally ran out. There's nothing in here. I thought I had more mini chocolate chips. Turns out I just have the regular size chocolate chips instead of mini, but mini's better. You get more chocolate chips per bite. It just spreads more evenly, more chocolate chip coverage. Those macros that I gave you, I use less than a half serving, but those macros I have a half serving accounted for. I'm gonna make sure you guys get more mini chocolate chips than I do, so that's why. But let's try this out. Oh my God. Oh my God. What? That is so good. That is so good, guys. You guys gotta try that. Nick, try that out. So, I'm gonna be completely honest. Is that as good as Nick's cookie dough? No, Nick's was better. It isn't as rich as Nick's, and Nick's just tasted a bit richer to me. But for the macros and for the calories, that is super, super tasty. I'm gonna go enjoy this whole thing. Guys, if you like this recipe, definitely give it a shot, give it a try. You will love it. It's super tasty. The texture, I do love this texture because it is super thick and it won't fall off, which is very similar to cookie dough. This tastes super, super, super good. So try this out. Thanks for watching this video, guys. I'm gonna go crush this whole bowl of cookie dough. Subscribe if you're new and give the video a like if you like this video and this recipe. And I will see you all in the next one.